Hey guys, welcome to a new video. It's Jay, and today I want to make a quick video talking about how to do single target damage on especially on the lazy Jugg Daddy build that I have released the build guide video in I think 2 days or 3 days ago. So this is to address a question that I got the most out of the people who have actually tried to set up the character and test it and play it in the game. So the main question that I have received from a lot of viewers was how to do more single target damage, because they sometimes in a simulacrum they face the situation where the boss, the concise, and the omniphobia, they might either spawn in the corner, or they are spawn just very late into the wave. So there are not many monster, or even there are no monsters left nearby the concise or the omniphobia. So there is no monster to explode on, and then they struggle with dealing the single target damage. So today I want to address that in this video, and let's go through the options that we have. Right, so first thing first, this thing I actually forgot to mention in the build guide video, and it is actually quite significant. So this is a tech that people who already played POE for a while, or already played the corpse explosion build of any sort, probably is already know about the tech that the ray spectre can actually improve the overall quality of the corpses spawned by desecrate. So the ray spectre, TLDR, the specters are forced into the pool of the desecrate corpses can spawn. Normally the desecrate, if you do not have any spectre in your pool, it will spawn a random corpse from the map or the zone that you are currently in. But you have a way to force another corpses or multiple other corpses into the pool of the desecration. This information I did not found out myself, but actually I got this information from Ben. If you play POE, you probably know that Ben is like one of the most, if not the best player in the game currently. So his information might probably be true. I would choose to believe him. So he says that 15% of the time the corpse spawn will be forced to be a spectre corpse. So whichever spectre that you have, you spawn a desecrate, and then you obviously can detonate that with the corpse of the spectre. Why do we choose the spectre? So we have a list over here. So we have the Auric Champion, Auric Colossus, Sandworn Slaves, Rattling Condemned, and Condemned. Rattling Condemned, yes. And most famously, Kitava's Herald. If you do not want to go through just too many hassle, then I would recommend you to just go to Act 10, the zone just outside of the town, and then you kill some monster and just try to have even a level 1 raise spectre gem is okay. Just raise a Kitava's Herald spectre, and then that automatically include the Kitava's Herald into the desecrate pool of your character from that point on until forever. So that is something that you would want to do once before you play any corpse explosion build. So yeah, if you want better explanation, or if you want more detailed, I would recommend you go to this guy, the best player in the game, by the way. I got the list from his video also. This is the one that he used on his chain reaction detonate dead, killing on all the Ubers. Right, so yeah, that is about the ray spectre. This significantly improve your damage, because your damage of the detonate dead is based on the life of the corpse that you spawn, and the Kitava's Herald especially have like the highest base HP pool in the game, so that's why it increased the damage significantly. in POE it is very hard to calculate or to show that. You probably have to add like a custom modifier that is very complicated, and I will not go into it. But you know, if you play the build and you have not done this trick, then just go ahead and summon a Kitava's Herald Spectre, and then you can just remove the gem and you can desecrate and see if the corpse of the Kitava's Herald is already there. If it's already there, then you can be safe to just remove the gems and just play the game normally, and you will notice a difference in the damage when you face the same situation. For example, in this case, when you face concise, right? Next one are the damage scaling layers that I am using in the build. So this is the list. If you see you are missing something in the list here, there is a way to include the mod in the build, and yeah, here you have it. So I will go through them and explain a little bit on how they, you know, improve our damage or how they interact with each other, and why we choose to use specifically those things in this build. So first of all, this thing I don't think I have mentioned in the build guide. That's why I put it on the first. So it is chance to cover rare or unique enemy in Ash for 10 seconds on hit. This is in the description over here is 20% increased fire damage taken, which translate to 20% more overall damage. This is very, very huge. Initially, when I make the build guide, I did not have this in the build, and then I realized I missed this one, and then I included in that which was taken. So I, you know, sacrificed a little bit of AoE, and then I changed that which was taken to something with the chance to cover enemy in Ash. You can find this mod in a charm or that which was taken, so depend on your budget, depend on what you can find in the market, because there probably are not two exact same that which was taken on the market. But the charms, you can always reliably find something with this mod. It's not an expensive mod at all. You just need one of them, and the roll doesn't really matter because you hit quite many times. So even for like 10%, you hit like more than 10 times per second, and you cover the enemy in Ash for the whole 10 seconds. So you will always have like almost 100% uptime, this regardless of the roll, right? Secondly, this one I already mentioned in the build is the Consecrated Ground. You create applied 10% increased damage taken to enemy. This is also the reason why we choose to include one of the Purifying Flame as one of the gem in a secondary or tertiary cast when stun setup to have 100% uptime of this. This is 10% more damage, half as good as the cover in Ash, but still, you know, it is a more multiplier. Very nice. And next, the deal triple damage with elemental skill. This is by far the most amount of damage we have in this build, and it is only achievable by using the Annihilating Light unique staff. So, you know, if you don't use this staff, then use it, basically. Next one is the one of the notable passive that was transformed by the Elegant Hubris, Caspiro Jewel. So, long story short, this single note here, 10% increased damage per endurance charge. In my build, in POE, if I remove this note, I lose 14.5% of my damage. The reason why it is so impactful is because in the build we actually do not have many like increased damage in the build. We have quite a few more multiplier, but we have very little increased damage, actual increased damage. So this one note here is 100% with 10 permanent endurance charge, and is a huge thing to have. If you can go to the Timeless Jewel calculator online, and then you can find one with like at least one, but you know, if you can find two, or by some miracle even 3 of them on the Elegant Hubris, then feel free to use them. It is a huge amount of damage, right? Next one is an Elemental Mastery. You take on a skill tree after you have a will, specifically drop a Divine Orb. Nice, as you can hear the thing in the beginning of the video. So this mastery over here, while we end the game. So let me actually just finish this wave, and then we can see if we can have a situation where we are soloing the boss, so I can showcase the damage. Right, so currently we are talking about the elemental mastery. Its hits have 25% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistant value as inverted. This is a very, very, very powerful mod. Very powerful mastery. The reason why is the time where we need the damage the most is when the enemies actually have a huge amount of resistance, which are normally the bosses. The tanky rares, they always have a massive amount of resistance. So for example, if let's say a boss have a 75% fire resistance, in our case we deal fire damage, right? So the inverted value is negative 75%. So every 4 hits, just by chance 25%, every 4 hit we are actually have 1 hit that basically reduce the elemental resistance of the enemy by 150%. That is a absolute huge amount. Even out on 4 hits, that is a total of like almost 40% reduced elemental resistance per hit for every hit. So long story short, if you don't want to go too deep into the mechanic of this mastery, then into the math, then you just know that it is very, very strong, right? And it comes in combination with the next one, which is cursed enemy takes 64% increased damage while on low life. This is from the punishment curse. So some of you from the previous video actually you know, noticed that I have 2 curses on the initial POE setup. One was flammability and the second one is punishment. So flammability was actually the curse that I used before I take the elemental mastery over here of inverted resistance. Then I decided to change into punishment. The reason why is the flammability reduced the resistance of the monster. So for example, if let's say an example that if the monster have 75% resistance again, and they got cursed by flammability, they got their resistance reduced to 35%. And then if that value is inverted, it's only minus 35. So that is only a 70% elemental, you know, reduction bonus on the inverted hit instead of 150%. So those two have some kind of anti-synergy. So that's why I choose to change the curse to punishment, which only works when the target drops below 50% health. But you know, it works out at the end. It is the best combination. It is the best. This is the best curse you can use for this build in particular, if you take this elemental resistant mastery. Right. Next, very simple elemental overload is a more multiplier, and then last but not least is the small passive. And then we have 2 small passive in an Undertaker passive wheel in the skill tree, which raise the corpse life by 5%. Right. So those are the things that I am currently using in my build to improve the damage. And you can check if you also have missed any of those. If you have missed anything on this list, then feel free to add them to your build. You have the source over here, where you can find the mods. You see something you cannot find, if you go ahead and look at them, find them on, for example, if you have not cover enemy in ash here, very, very strong, then you go ahead and find a charm or that which was taken jewel that have this mod. You can sacrifice a little bit of AoE for the charm. That is probably the cheapest way you can do. And then when you further upgrade the build, when you have more damage and you like to have the AoE back, you can just swap back at any time. You can just balance out the mods in the that which was taken and the charms. Right, so that is about that. Let me go ahead and see if I finish this wave here. Alright, we finished this wave. This is Immortal Ignorance. As you can see, I am still farming, though not in normal speed, but I'm still farming Simulacrum in the background. Proof that this build actually is okay. Right, last but not least, this is something that you can choose. This has a drawback, but it also significantly improves the single target damage, and I will explain in detail right now. So you want to switch out the Desecrate and you use the Unearth. The Unearth is different from the Desecrate. It just consistently spawn a skeleton corpse, so you do not need to care about the race spectre tech that we talked about in the early video. That is only when you use Desecrate. But the Unearth have something that is different from the Desecrate. First of all, the Unearth will not work with the spell Cascade, but it will work as it is a projectile. It will work with the GMP, or maybe the volley, greater volley, or greater GMP, greater multiple projectile GMP. They create 5 corpses. The corpses are very, you know, packed together, very close together. So the corpses you explode are on one spot. It's a one focus spot. So you make sure that the boss, the single target, always get 100% of the focus fire, right? But more importantly, the Unearth have one thing that is different from the Desecrate, that it has the different quality. So the Unearth quality, okay, let me go ahead and go to here. You can see the quality of Unearth is corpses spawn have up to 30% increased maximum life. This again is a huge thing for the corpse explosion build. So you can link the enhanced support to the setup. You maybe move the curse, or you know, with whatever you are linking with the cast when stunned and Desecrate setup. If you swap out for Unearth, you will also be able to use enhance for extra quality, which is extra maximum life on your corpses that you spawn, which is a lot of extra damage. So that is why we can improve the single target damage with Unearth instead of Desecrate. I still like Desecrate. I want to make that clear, because Desecrate have like a better spread, and because we have a large AoE, normally we do have a very good overlap already. So in content like Simulacrum or maps, Desecrate just have a bigger AoE, spread out the corpses, and we have the explosion all around our character, so we can clear just in a bigger area overall. Instead of Unearth, it is very compact. It is very like focused on one specific area. Right, so yeah, that's everything I want to talk about in this video. We are going to do just a little bit more in this video, which is going to finish this wave 30. I'm not sure if we will face the situation where we have to where we can test the Simulacrum. Right, let me just go around, try to kill monster as much monster as possible this time, so when the boss spawn there aren't many monsters, so we can maybe test out the single target. But I can assure you guys that the current setup on my character, which is not that much different from alright, we do have the bosses, but I'm afraid they will be dead very soon, because they spawn in the middle of a good amount of monster. Alright, we are able to, you know, isolate Concise over here. So as you can see, we still deal big chunk of damage to him with the slow hitting phase here. Most of the damage we can deal with concise is when he like throwing out the fireball in a pretty rapid fire. I think this one is bug or something, so he just keep using the auto attack. But you know, long story short, you just check the list that I have provided, which is the list over here. Right, you can pause the video and then look at the list over here and check if your character have everything here. If it missing out on something, then just include it in the build. It should improve your single target damage. If you use Desecrate, you should use the spectre tech. It will improve your damage. If you still lack of damage, you can switch Desecrate into Unearth, and then remember to use Enhance. Enhance plus Unearth is a lot of extra DPS for single target on Detonate Dead. Right, thanks for watching, and if you like the content, if you think that is helpful to you, if you are interested, then please leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel. It will help me greatly, and see you in the next video. Peace.